Sorry for the interruption, but this could be something you need to hear. Something special's coming soon. I've created a 9-part series for parents on AI and our children's future. And the message is not fear, it's confidence. Yes, it's changing the world, but it doesn't mean parents are powerless. In fact, this may be one of the most important moments for families to lean in, to learn together, and to help children see the future as something they can shape, rather than something that simply happens to them. Back to the video. The mistake most parents make is treating financial literacy as a single subject, something you either have or you don't have, something you learn once. It isn't. Financial literacy develops in stages, and the stage that matters for 8-year-olds is completely different to the stage that matters for a 15-year-old. Getting the stage wrong is not neutral. Trying to teach a 9-year-old about investment return is not just ineffective, it can create the impression that money is complicated and inaccessible in ways that take years to undo. Here for you is the age by age guide from 7 to 18. So for ages 7 to 11, this is the foundation stage. At 7 or 8 up to 11, you're building vocabulary and habits, not the knowledge. The most important thing you can do at this stage is establish the split on arrival habit. The moment money arrives, whether it's birthday money, pocket money, money earned from a task, it's divided immediately, not later, not when convenient, immediately. Your 3 jars: spend, save, give. The proportions matter less than the practice. 70-20-10, 60-30-10, equal thirds. The right proportions are the ones that the child can understand and maintain. What you are building is the physical habit of splitting money before making any decision about it. By age 11, your child should be able to use these words accurately and without anxiety. Income, expense, saving, spending, giving, cost, price, value. Not in a test, in daily conversations. The best way to build this vocabulary is not to teach it, it's to use it. That costs more than its value to us. That's an expense we could delay. That's a good income for the work involved. Children absorb the vocabulary of the adults around them. Financial vocabulary is no different. So what should you avoid? At 7 to 11, avoid 2 things: complexity and anxiety. Do not introduce concepts that require abstract reasoning, like compound interest, inflation, investment risk. Don't express money stress in front of your child without context. Both create the impression that money is dangerous, and dangerous things are avoided. Ages 12 to 14. Here, this is the decision stage. At 12 to 14, the game changes. Your child now has real wants, things that cost significant money, social pressure around spending, and enough cognitive development to reason about the trade-offs. Here, it's time to introduce real budget decisions. At this stage, give your child a real budget with real constraints. Not a simulated one, a real one. If they want the shoes that cost $120 and you've allocated $80 for the shoes, the conversation is not, I'll cover the extra. It's, how are you going to cover the gap? This forces the decision-making capability that Tuesday's video discussed. Not under academic conditions, under real conditions with real wanting and a real limit. This is just what being family means. It's creating an environment of safety and learning all at the same time. Introduce the concept of value. 12 to 14 is the right age to start the what does it cost to make conversation. The retail price of things hides enormous information, And when a child understands that a $40 item costs $4 to manufacture, their relationship with marketing changes permanently. By 14, your child should have some experience of earning money from a source other than their parents, their first earning experience, a task they've done for a neighbor, a small service, something sold, not because the money matters, because the relationship between effort and income matters. It's why in my year 6 class we've been doing a fete every year. The children earn money from effort that they've put in. The money comes from somebody else. It cannot be taught. It has to be felt. Let's go up a level, ages 15 to 17. I call this more the strategy stage. At 15 to 17, your child is close enough to adulthood that the financial decisions they make or don't make have real long-term consequences. Here, you can introduce compound interest and they'll understand it, but do it backwards. Most parents who try to teach compound interest do it as a savings concept. I recommend teaching it as a debt concept first. Show your child on paper what $1,000 of credit card debt at 20% interest looks like after 2 years of minimum payments. Now, minimum payments are usually 2.5%. The emotional impact of compound debt is far greater than the intellectual appreciation of compound savings. And it creates a more durable motivation to avoid it. Introduce at this level investing as a concept, not a product. At 15 to 17, the goal is not to open an investment account. The goal is to have the conversation that normalizes the idea that money can work, that putting money somewhere and having more money later is a real phenomenon and not a trick or a privilege. The specific vehicle can come later. The concept must come now. I know there are parents who have set up investment accounts for their children at the age of 8, 9, or 10 years old, and they explain to them about shares and equities. But the children, it's too abstract for them at that stage. If you say you own a business, yes, that can help. Let's move on again. By 17, your child should understand that income is not just a wage. Income can come from skills, from businesses, from investments, and from IP, intellectual property. The sooner they see income as something they can design rather than something that happens to them, the better their decisions will be in the following decade. I wish I had this knowledge when I was 15 to 18 years old. 18 plus, this is independence stage. At 18, the training wheels should be coming off. Not because they know everything. They don't. And neither do you, neither do I. But because the only way to build genuine financial independence is to actually be financially independent. There are 3 conversations that you should have before they leave home. First, how do taxes work? Not the theory, the practice. What does a payslip look like? What is a tax return? And when do they need to file one? If they haven't had a job in their teenage years, they really do need to have that conversation with you. Second, what does a lease actually say? Walk through a real lease together, whether it's for an apartment or a mobile phone contract. The fine print is where most young adults are caught out. Third, what's your family's financial philosophy? Not rules, but philosophy. Why does your family make the financial choices it makes? I would introduce these conversations quite early on. What do you believe about money? About risk? About giving? This conversation is often never had explicitly, and it's one of the most important ones. If you haven't had it with your partner, do it today. Find a quiet place, sit down just the 2 of you, and talk it through. In some ways, being single is easier. A few final notes. This guide covers 9 to 18, 7 to 18, but the real window is before 9. That's when the fundamental relationship between ages 7 and 9 are developed. If your child's younger than 9 and you're watching this, start the 3 jars now. And if your child is older than 18, it's not too late. The stages still apply. They just need to be compressed into fewer years and conversations. But capability builds at any age. Your question for this video: which stage is your child at right now? And which one do you feel least prepared for? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone. Until next time, see you.